And welcome to Smoky Valley Softball here on this Tuesday. Joining you here in the booth, Doug Schneider, doing the live stream action here today as we join you in between the first, or top of the first into the bottom of the first. In the top of the first did not go extremely well for Smoky Valley as they gave up 8 runs to Hesston. Culminating here in this last run, which was an overthrow to second that allowed the runner to advance from first all the way to home for the 8th run of the inning. So as we enter in the bottom of the first, it is Hesston 8 and Smoky Valley 0. Coming into this game, Hesston comes in at 12 and 10. Smoky Valley coming in with 6 wins on the season as well. So again, a good CKL contest. This is the last home game of the year, last contest of the year prior to regionals for both teams as well. We'll try to see if we can talk a little bit about that as we come up here in just a bit. On the hill tonight in the opening contest for Hesston is number 16. That is Elise Griffin. We'll talk a little bit about Elise's numbers here on the season in just a bit. First up for the Vikings, though, Kinsley Haxton. She's going to get the lead off here for Smoky Valley. Opening pitch, swung on, ball hit to right field. Could be trouble. Underneath it is the right fielder in foul territory, and she makes the grab. So a great catch in right field over there by Emma. My numbers here. Emma Gudeman. Okay, Emma Gudeman making that catch. So 1 out here for the Vikings in the opening part of their half of the inning. As I said, trailing 8-0. Next batter for the Vikings, Tinley Scott up to plate. Tinley's going to take the first one outside, ball 1. Into the windup, the pitch. Right down the center, strike 1. So 1-1 the count now to Tinley Scott. Scott comes into the contest hitting .360 on the season, an on-base percentage of .467 for Smoky Valley. Wind up in the pitch. That one's a strike as well. So 1-2 the count now to Scott. Tinley has struck out 8 times this year. She's got 18 hits on the season. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and strike 3. So that'll be the second out of the inning for Smoky Valley as Tinley Scott goes down on strikes here to, again, a solid pitcher here for Hesston, that being number 16, Elise Griffin. Third batter up for the Vikings here in this opening inning is going to be Riley Toll. First pitch swung on and missed. Strike 1. Griffin comes in with a 1.79 ERA. She's had 13 appearances this year for Hesston. 8 wins, 5 losses. The 0-1 pitch to Toll. Swung on, foul tipped. That'll be strike 2.
I'm going to go fix the camera.
So 0-2 here for Riley Toll. Toll on the season for Smoky, one of their stronger hitters. Riley's hitting .308, on base percentage of .400 here. The 0-2 pitch. Check swing, and they're going to call that one a swing around. So that's going to be strike 3 here for Toll. And so the Vikings go down here in the first inning, 1-2-3. And now we'll head to the second inning here. Vikings trail 8-0. We'll be back after a brief break. Again, thanks for joining us today on live.smokyvalley.org. Mike Rose out doing a little fixing up here of the camera, and hopefully you're having a great opportunity to join us here on senior night for the Vikings. Vikings are going to be set to recognize 8 seniors on the night. So a very senior-laden team for the Vikings here this season. On the hill here, Allison Hipp. Allison, tough first inning as they were able to piecemeal together 8 runs, some of those on some overthrows as well, and trying to throw some players out. They worked their way around the batting order, and now we're back to the third batter in the order, number 20. That's Justice Large. Last time up for Large, she was one of the flyout victims to second base, so she was the first out in inning number 1. First pitch. It's going to be in the dirt, ball 1. Large this season for Hesston. 16 games played, hitting .388 on the season. Second pitch, going to be nubbed off the edge of the bat. Kelsey Adam on the ground to get it, throw to first. In time, that'll be out number 1. Nice play by Kelsey Adam there. The ball dropped quickly. She had to get down, get in front of it, and she was able to make the put-out play there on the 4-3, getting the ball over to Toll for the first out here of inning number 2. So Large now 0 for 2 on the day. Corey Kramer, the next batter up. Kramer hit a single in the first inning. She was the third run to cross the plate as well for Hesston. First pitch, swung on, ball hit between the gap in short and third. That'll be another hit. So 2 singles here so far for Corey Kramer tonight. Kramer hitting .351 on the season as well, coming in with 20 hits. That'll be 21 and 22. To wind up the pitch, ball hit over the third baseline, just foul. That's going to be strike number 1 here to Brenlin Richmond. So again, 1 out, top of the second. Hesston 1 runner on first base. Up to bat here, Richmond. She's a freshman hitting .339 on the season, got 19 hits as well as 19 RBIs from her number 5 slot. Next pitch, ball in the dirt. It's going to be ball 1. So 1-1 now to Richmond. Hip the windup of the pitch. Ball hit sharply into center field. It's going to drop just beyond the infield dirt, right in front of Tinley Scott. And that's going to be another hit for Richmond. Last time up, she also singled. So 2 on now for Hesston. First pitch, ball 1 outside. Batter here is Kramer. Kramer, the sophomore. She's played in 18 games this season, hitting .170 for Hesston. Second pitch in there for a strike from Hip. 1-1 now the count. Again, 8-run first inning for Hesston. Got the floodgates opened here. Took a while for the Vikings to finally get their bearings. Second inning now, 1 out, 2 on. Hip's third pitch going to be high, ball 2. So 2-1 now the count to Kramer. Kramer has scored 11 runs this year off of her 8 hits. Next ball, fouled back out of play. That's going to be strike 2. So 2-2 the count. A little bit of a breeze blowing from left to right across the field. Not much today, not nearly as much as what we've seen in the past. Of course, at Larned the other day, a pretty windy day blowing from the first base to the third base side. The 2-2 pitch, swung on, foul. It's going to remain 2-2. Hip gets the sign, into the windup, the pitch to Kramer. And that's going to be strike 3. Strike 3, Hip able to ring up her first strikeout of the day as she takes down Kramer here. And so nicely done by Hip, getting that second out of the inning for the Vikings. And now an opportunity to get out of this inning without giving up any runs. Next batter up, Carmen Carson. She had a single in the first inning as well. First pitch from Hip, swung on, down the third baseline, ball just going to drift foul. That's going to be strike one. So 0-1 now the count to Carson. Carson, the freshman, comes into the contest hitting .231 on the season, got 39 at-bats, 14 runs, and 9 hits to go along with that, as well as 6 RBIs. Ball swung on, going to be nubbed off the end of the bat to third. Brockstrom with the throw, and it's in time for the out. So Ava Brockstrom stepping in at third base. She makes the play, and that'll be the third out of the inning. And so after 1.5, it's it's Hesston 8, Smoky Valley 0. We'll be back with the bottom of the second. And welcome back here to Smoky Valley Softball as we enter the bottom of the second inning. Vikings find themselves down 8-0 after an 8-run top of the first by Hesston. The Vikings shut that down in the second, giving up a couple of hits but no runs. And now they find themselves here in the bottom of the second with leadoff hitter Kayla Norberg. Norberg going against Griffin here. First pitch, swung on, going to be hit foul, strike one. So far this season, Griffin on the mound, the sophomore for Hesston, as I said, 1.79 ERA. She's also got 111 strikeouts, and she got 2 more just in the last inning, so she's up to 113 on the season for Hesston. So it's been a solid year for her on the hill. Gets the wind up, the pitch, ball outside corner, going to get Norberg reaching. It's going to be 0-2 to Kayla. Kayla Norberg for Smoky Valley has a 365 average, 468 on base percentage. Griffin gets the sign into the windup here, and the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, got her reaching. That's going to be strike 3. So the first out of the inning happens on the heels of another K. So 3 straight strikeouts now for Griffin, puts her up to 114 total on the season. Next up for the Vikings, Kate Griffin takes the first pitch low and outside, going to be ball 1. Griffin, the freshman, hit the first home run for the Vikings last week at Larned, first home run all season. The 1-0 pitch from Griffin to Griffin. Swung on, fouled off, going to be strike 1. So 1-1 now the count to Kate Griffin. Again, Elise Griffin, the sophomore, on the hill for Hesston. Kate Griffin, the freshman, at the plate for the Vikings. 1-1 the count, 1 out, bottom of the second. The windup and the pitch. Ball comes in low. That's going to be 2-1. Nice eye by Griffin. Also this season, Kate's hitting 362. She's got an on-base percentage of 444. She's got 13 RBIs on the season as well. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball hit in the air. It's going to be hit straight up. The catcher's going to find it, and that'll be out number 2 here for the Vikings in the bottom of the second. Great reaction time there by Elise Griffin, letting the catcher in that situation know what was going on, because, again, hard to find that sometimes when you're in that position, but she did a great job letting Justice Large know exactly where it was at. She got her helmet off, turned around, and made the play, so that's 2 outs now for Smoky here in the bottom of the second. Next batter up, Allison Hipp, the pitcher of record tonight. First pitch, swung on, and strike one. 0-1 pitch here from Griffin. Just got right inside there, caught hip looking. That's going to be 0-2. So 0-2 the count now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Griffin wants a different sign. Into the windup, the pitch. Working the high corner that time. It's going to be ball 1. So 1-2 the count now to Allison Hipp. Hipp comes into today's contest hitting .243 on the season. .404 on base percentage. 1-2 pitch. Outside low, going to be 2-2. Hipp trying to find a pitch she likes or fight some off here to get back into the count. 2-2 pitch. And a little off speed there, caught her. She was out ahead of that one a little bit, and that's going to be the 4th strikeout of the game for Griffin. So at the end of 2, the Vikings still find themselves down 8-0. We'll be back with the 3rd inning. And back with Smoky Valley Softball here on this senior night, Tuesday in May, last regular season game of the 2024 campaign for the Vikings as they prepare for their regional run. Again, as we enter the top of the 3rd, Vikings find themselves down 8-0, the result of an 8-run first inning. Vikings settling in the 2nd, knocking them down, and moving on now to the 3rd. First batter up for Hesston here in the 3rd, going to be Reagan Eilert. Eilert, the junior first baseman. She's the designated player here tonight. First pitch, swung on. Ball's going to be nubbed up in the air to 2nd. Kelsey Adams under it. She makes the play for the first out of inning number 3. Kelsey Adams getting a lot of activity here in the early going here in this contest. She had a fly out to her in the first inning. She had a grounder hit to her in the last inning, or toward the end of the first inning as well. First pitch here is going to be low and in the dirt. This one coming in here to Emma Gudeman. Gudeman had a nice catch in foul territory in the first inning against the Vikings as well. And this is her 2nd at bat. Second pitch going to be outside, going to be ball 2. So 2-0 the count now to Gudeman. Gudeman singled in the first inning. .2-0 pitch from Hipp. Got that inside corner. It's going to be 2-1. Nice pitch by Allison Hipp trying to paint those lines there. Gudeman comes in averaging .333 on the season. She's got 19 runs to go along with her 14 hits. 2-1 pitch. Going to be high and outside. 3-1 from Hipp. So Gudeman's worked the pitch count to her advantage here. Sitting at 31 now with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Trying to get that first base runner on. Ball swung on. Fouled back. It's going to be strike 2. So 3-2 the count. Allison Hipp forces it back to a full count. Three and two to Gudeman. Into the windup, the pitch from Hipp. Swung on, fouled back to the fence. Going to remain 3-2. Hipp took a little something off of that. Gudeman had to slow her bat down just a little bit to make contact and was able to make that contact and send it back to the fence. 3-2 pitch now from Hip. Going to come in high. It's going to be ball 4. That's going to send Gudeman to first. That'll be her 7th base on balls this season. So 1 out, base runner on first. Ball hit down the line, first base, going to try for the double. Quick throw over to Hesston. In time, not going to be back in time. It gets the forward base runner there on the out as Wendy Roth comes up and gets the sacrifice or the fielder's choice in that scenario. So Gudeman out based on the fielder's choice from Toll over to Hesston. So that's going to be 2 outs now here in the 3rd inning. First pitch, high, quick throw over, and that's in time. They got her. Great play. Kayla Norberg with the catch, makes the throw over to first, in time to Riley Toll, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So the Vikings get through this inning quickly as they knock them down, and that'll move us to the bottom of the 3rd with the Vikings still trailing 8-0. We'll be back after this break. And welcome back here to the campus of Bethany College, the Smoky Valley softball field here, as the Vikings come out here for the bottom of the 3rd inning, trailing 8-0 against the Hesston Swathers. Hesston here in their black uniforms, red socks, red numerals with white outlay. Vikings here in their white jerseys, black pants, black numerals, orange outlay. As again, we wrap up the season here, or at least the regular season here with softball, as we've got regional starting next week. Baseball going on at the other diamond. We'll see if we can get you updated on some scores from over there as well. Alexis Gordon, the first batter up here in the bottom of the 3rd. Griffin, nice pitch outside corner. Got Gordon swinging, and that's going to be strike 1 to Alexis Gordon. Vikings so far been 3 up, 3 down, both innings. The 0-1 pitch, outside corner, got her reaching again. It's going to be 0-2 to Gordon. 4 Ks so far today for Griffin on the mound for Hesston. The 0-2 pitch, gets the sign, the windup, works that outside corner again, gets Gordon reaching, and that's going to be K number 5 for Griffin. Again, Elise Griffin, the sophomore, that takes her up to 116 strikeouts on the season for Hesston. Next batter up for the Vikings is going to be Ava Brocksterman. Brocksterman steps in, the pitch, squares up to bunt, going to foul that one off, strike 1. Brocksterman comes in hitting 105 on the season. She's got an on-base percentage of 150. Most likely going to see Ava as the pitcher of record in Game 2 tonight. Next pitch, swung on, hit foul, out of play. It's going to be 0-2 now to Brocksterman. Going to be out of play down that first base line. Again, we're here in the bottom of the 3rd. Hesston leads 8-0. Vikings 1 out already to start this inning on a strikeout by Alexis Gordon. Ava Brocksterman now here at 0-2. Griffin gets the sign, the windup, the pitch, works that outside again. This time Brocksterman holds off. Count goes to 1-2. Ava steps in, gets her spot. Griffin delivers. Ball swung on, hit high in the air. It's going to be backing out of play. And we're going to stay 1-2. 1 out. Vikings trying to get a base runner on here to try to manufacture some runs in this third. Griffin into the windup, the pitch. Off speed, swung on by Brockstrom right between the gap and third and short. And that's going to get the Vikings a runner here on in the bottom of the third. Nice hit by Ava Brockstrom here. The first single of the contest, first hit of the contest here in the third inning by the Vikings. Next batter up, Kelsey Adams. She swings at the first pitch. That'll be strike one. So 0-1 the count to Kelsey Adams. Adam comes in this season, or so far this season, hitting 182 on the year with an on-base percentage of .217. Second pitch, outside, ball one. Good eye on behalf of Adam there. Elise Griffin does a nice job painting those outside lines really well for some players to chase. Next pitch, she went that low outside corner again, got Adam to chase, and that's going to be 1-2 to Kelsey Adam. That hit by Ava Brockstrom, her third hit of the season. She's at first here with 1 out. Into the windup, the pitch from Griffin, going to go low, going to be fouled off there by Adam. Count's going to stay 1-2. Kelsey this season with 8 hits in her 44 at-bats. Into the windup, the pitch, ball's going to be low and inside, going to be ball 2. 2-2 the count now to Kelsey Adam, the senior. One of the many seniors that's going to be recognized in between games tonight. Again, we want to thank Mike Rose for live streaming this game on live.smokyvalley.org. The pitch swung on and missed. That's going to be K number 6 here for Adam. But on the K, Brockstrom reads that, and she's going to go ahead and get to second for the Vikings. So 2 Ks each inning so far for Elise Griffin, and that'll bring up our next batter here, which is Kinsley Hesston, back to the top of the lineup. Hesston flew out in the first inning. Ball swung on, hit to right field. This one's going to drop. That's going to push Brockstrom to third. She's going to turn the corner and head home, and she's in, and the Vikings are on the board here with their first run of the night on some smart, intelligent base running there by Ava Brockstrom, and a nice, timely hit by Kinsley Hesston. Hesston just dropping that ball into right field beautifully, able to get the RBI for the Vikings as Ava Brockstrom comes around from second to score the first run for Smoky Valley with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Next batter up, Tinley Scott. She's going to take strike one looking on her first pitch. Tinley was a strikeout victim in the first inning as well. So she is 0-1, 0 for 1 on the day. Hesston at first, always a threat to run. Scott swings around on this one, going to hit it foul and out of play. It's going to be strike 2, so 0-2 now to Tinley Scott. Hesston's hit is her 19th hit on the season. She is hitting .419 coming into the day. The 0-2 pitch to Scott. Ball going to be high. She holds off. That's going to be 1-2 now to Tinley. Again, bottom of the third, Vikings trail 8-1, got their first run here this inning on a Kinsley Hesston RBI single. 1-2 pitch, low and in the dirt. Kinsley's taking off running. The throw, safe. They said she got in under the tag. It was a tight call, but they called her under the tag there, so Hesston's going to be safe at second. Count now moves to 2-2 to Scott. Wind up the pitch from Griffin. Ball swung on. That'll be strike 3. So Tinley Scott, another victim of a K here again. That makes 3 strikeouts in this inning alone for Griffin, as she then increases her number to 7 for the day. And at the end of 3, the Vikings find themselves down 8-1 to the Hesston Swathers. We'll be back for the top of the 4th inning after this break. And to the top of the fourth we go here at Smoky Valley Softball. Smoky Valley versus Hesston today. Last home game of the season, last regular season contest of the season as well. Vikings find themselves down 8-1 now as we enter the top of the fourth. Elise Griffin up to bat. She was the batter of record in the last inning when they had a throwout as well. First pitch from Hip, going to be low, ball one. Vikings gave up those 8 runs in inning number 1. They've shutout innings in the second and the third. 1-0 pitch, outside corner, going to be strike one. 1-1. So Hip able to paint the corner here as well against Elise Griffin, her fellow pitcher. Gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch from Hip. Down the center, going to be driven to Brocksterman at third. Brocksterman up, makes the throw to Toll. In time for the out. That'll be out number 1 for the Vikings here in the top of the fourth. So the 5-3 put out from Brocksterman, who entered the contest after the first inning at third base, making the play. And that'll be 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Up to bat, going to be Justice Large, the catcher. She's 0 for 2 so far in the day. First pitch swung on, hit in the air to shortstop. Haxton's under it, and she makes the play, and that's out number 2. So it'll be a fly out to the shortstop position here, and that'll be the second time tonight that Large has flown out for her outs. She now goes to 0-3 on the day. Next batter up, Corey Kramer. Kramer's got 2 singles so far in the day. First pitch from Hip, going to be low, ball 1. Kramer had a single in the first inning and followed that up with a single in the second inning as well. Second pitch from Hip, going to be high. That'll be ball 2. Kramer coming in, as we said, hitting .351 on the season. Third pitch, going to be high. That's going to be ball 3. Kramer .351 with 16 runs scored on her 20 hits. 3-0 count pitch right down the center from Hip. Going to be 3-1. Hip trying to battle back here after getting behind 3-0 in the count. Back to 3-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Vikings able to get 2 quick outs. This pitch going to be in the dirt, and that's going to send Kramer to first on a base on balls. So 2 outs, 1 runner on now for Hesston. Next batter up is going to be number 24. That's going to be Brenlyn Richmond. Richmond, she's 2 for 2 on the day as well. Had a single in the first and a single in the second. First pitch driven over the shortstop, Haxton. That'll make it out to left field. Going to turn from second, quick throw to third. Not in time. Brenlyn Richmond with the single, and that's going to push Kramer all the way over to third. Some savvy base running there from Corey Kramer. That'll put runners at the corners now for Hesston with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Next batter up, Kramer. First pitch, outside, ball 1. One and 0 the count. Second pitch swung on, foul, 1-1. So base runners at the corners, first and third. 2 outs, top of the fourth. Vikings trail 8-1. 1-1 pitch from Hip. Inside corner, got it 1-2. Hip trying to battle her way out of here without giving up any runs. 1-2 pitch, swung on, driven between short and third. That's going to bring a runner home. 1 run scores here in the top of the fourth, and that'll move the lead for Hesston to 9-1. As Corey Kramer crosses after her base on balls. That'll move Richmond over to second. That gets Kramer to first. First pitch, strike one. To Carmen Carson. Carson had a single in the first inning. She was a 5-3 putout in inning number 2. 0-1 pitch from Hip. Outside, trying to get her to chase. Ball one. 1-1 now the count to Carson. One pitch. High and inside. Going to be 2-1. Up, they're going to say that hit her right on the edge of the elbow there. And so that's going to be a base on balls hit by pitch to Carson. And that'll load up the bases now. You got Richmond at third, Kramer at second, Carson at first. And that'll bring up Reagan Eilert. She has flown out both times she's been up. First pitch swung on strike, 0-1 the count. Nice pitch by Hip. Flew out to center her first time out up. Flew out to the second baseman, Adam, the second time up. Second pitch in there for a strike, 0-2. Eilert, the designated player tonight for Hesston here in game 1. 0-2 pitch, 2 outs. And got her swinging, got her down the dirt. Ball comes out. And they were unable to find it in time. That's going to let her get to first. And that's going to score a run. And that's going to move us to 10-1 now as Richmond crosses. Everybody else advances. Got the strikeout, just couldn't quite get the secure on that play as the ball slipped away. It was low and in the dirt, but just couldn't quite gather it. First pitch swing by Gudeman as we're back to the bottom of the lineup here. Or near the bottom of the lineup. Gudeman's going to take strike one. Second pitch, swung on, ball hit to third. Brocksterman under it, makes the throw over to Toll at first, and that's in time, and that's going to be out number 3. But not before Hesston puts 2 more runs on the board to move up to 10-1 here as we head to the bottom of the 4th after this break. And back here with Smoky Valley Softball as we enter the bottom of the 4th. Vikings giving up 8 runs in the top of the 1st, give up 2 runs in the top of the 4th, and find themselves down 10-1 now as we enter the bottom of the 4th. Riley Toll will be the first batter up. She struck out her first time up in the first inning. Griffin the pitch, outside corner, got her swinging, strike one. Elise Ramsey been solid on the hill. 1 run scored so far for Smoky Valley here in game 1 as they trail 10-1. Griffin again, nice pitch. Got her chasing low, and that'll be strike 2 here for Toll as she swings away. So 0-2 now the count to Riley. Again, Elise Griffin on the hill here, the sophomore. Been solid. 7 strikeouts so far tonight. The 0-2 pitch to Toll. Down the center, ball foul tipped, going to remain 0-2. Toll, the junior, has 8 doubles this year to go along with 2 triples, and she has 16 total hits on the season. The 0-2 pitch here from Griffin. Ball foul tipped, backing out of play. Going to remain 0-2. Again, bottom of the 4th inning. Vikings down 10-1, gave up 8 runs in inning number 1, 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning here just a moment ago. Riley Toll up with got her on a check swing there. So it's going to be a strikeout again for Toll. That'll be her 2nd K of the day, and that moves us up to 8 total Ks here for Griffin on the day. Next batter up, Kayla Norberg. Kayla was up in the 2nd inning. She struck out her first time up as well. She was the 3rd in a row for Griffin. First pitch into the windup. Ball going to be called a strike. Low corner there of the strike zone to get strike number 1. Low and inside. Gets the call here for pitch number 2. Got her swinging there. That's going to be strike 2 to Norberg. So 0-2 the count as Kayla gets behind the pitch count early here. The 0-2 pitch, she gets the sign. She's into the windup, works that outside corner. Going to be ball 1. 1-2 now to Kayla Norberg. Kayla, another one of those seniors this year for Smoky Valley. The 1-2 pitch. Got her looking that time. That's going to be strike 3, and that'll be the 2nd K of the inning now for Griffin. So back-to-back strikeouts. She had back-to-back-to-back strikeouts at the end of the 1st and the beginning of the 2nd. Actually, 4 out of the first 6 outs were strikeouts for Griffin. Next batter up is going to be Kate Griffin. Kate's going to take the first one in the dirt. It's going to be ball 1. Kate flew out in the 1st inning, actually, to the catcher on a foul ball that just got up in the air. The 1-0 pitch, Griffin to Griffin, off speed, got her swinging, 1-1 the count. Kate Griffin, the freshman, hitting .362 this season. The 1-1 pitch from Elise Griffin. Swung on and missed by Kate Griffin. That's going to be strike 2. So 1-2 now the count to Kate Griffin. Kate's got 17 hits on the season, 3rd on the Viking roster right now. She delivers this one to center field. It's going to drop for a single. So Kate Griffin gets the 2nd hit for the Vikings in this contest off of Elise Griffin, as she's going to single right up the middle as the ball drops just in front of the center fielder out there. They're going to get a courtesy runner out there right now for Kate Griffin. That's going to be Peyton Wesley coming out to run for her, or a sub out there, actually. That'd be Peyton to sub in. You can sub a maximum. You can go out and back in softball, but that'll be your limit there. So again, Vikings' 2nd hit on the day at the hands of Kate Griffin, her 18th hit on the season. Next batter up, Allison Hipp. 2 outs, 1 runner on. Peyton Wesley over at first now. First pitch to Hipp. Swung on a miss, strike 1. Allison, our pitcher of record today for Smoky Valley, waiting on the pitch, swung on and missed, going to be strike 2. Elise Griffin looking for her 3rd strikeout of the inning here. She's got Hipp down 0-2 in the count. The windup of the pitch. Swung on a miss. That's strike 3. And that's going to be out number 3 here in the inning for the Vikings. get a hit from Kate Griffin, but can't manufacture any runs. And at the end of 4, it's the Vikings 1 and Hesston 10. We'll be back after this break. And welcome back to Smoky Valley Softball here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Vikings, however, find themselves down as we enter the top of the 5th, 10-1. Trying to get a quick inning here to see if they can break these Hesston Swathers down. Certainly don't want to allow another run, but have got to come back and put some runs on the board in the bottom of the 5th to try to get back in this game. Allison Hipp has been on the hill for the duration of the game. She'll come back out again now, as I believe we're back up to the top of the lineup here with Roth. Going to be ball 1. Wendy Roth up. She singled her first time up. She was thrown out as a base runner after a single in the 3rd. Second pitch going to be ball 2. So 2-0 the count. Yeah, she got on. So she's 2 for 2 on the day. Actually, I take that back. I believe she's 3 for 3 on the day. Kind of missed one there. Hips pitch, 2-0. In there for a strike, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Roth. Wendy up there. Into the windup is Hipp. Outside, ball low. Going to be 3-1. 3-1 the count to the leadoff batter, Roth. Wind up the pitch. Outside, going to be ball 4, and that's going to put Roth on first here to start the 5th inning. So first runner on for Hesston, that's the freshman Wendy Roth, hitting .383 on the season. And that'll bring up the second batter in the lineup, Elise Griffin, the pitcher. Ball swung on, hit sharply to third. Ava Broxterman on it, throw to second, gets the out, so it's going to be the force out at second. And that'll be the first out of the inning, so a nice fielder's choice there as they make the throw over and get Roth out at second. And Griffin makes it to first. So Elise Griffin going to be on first with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Justice Large up, the catcher. Justice 0 for 3 on the day. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. A nice fielding there by Ava Broxterman. She's able to get the fielder's choice on the 5-4 putout to Kelsey Adam. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's going to be nubbed to left field, and it's going to land just in front of Alexis Gordon. Quick throw to second. Not going to be in time, and so a nice single there by Justice Large, her first hit of the day for Hesston. That's going to put 2 runners on now with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Next batter up, Corey Kramer. Kramer's been solid today. 2 hits and a base on balls. First pitch going to come in high. It's going to be 1-0. Second pitch from Hipp. Swung on, driven over the shortstop into left field. That's going to get on their horse from third. They're going to wave her home. Cutoff throw, not in time. Throw quick back to third. They've got Large caught in a rundown now. Quick play by Broxterman, and they're going to get the out there of Justice Large. So well played there by the Viking defenders, but not before they give up the run here to fall to 11-1 here in the top of the 5th. But we do now have 2 outs and only 1 runner on. So Elise Griffin came around to score, got run number 11. Large caught in a rundown between second and third, between Brocksterman and Adam. They get the out. And that'll bring up Brenlin Richmond. First pitch going to be high, ball 1. One-zero pitch, swung on, hit to third. Brocksterman under it, makes the throw to first. Wide this time, and it's going to get away, and that's going to send the runner around third, and she's coming for home. Nice job there by Corey Kramer. She's going to score another run for Hesston, and that puts them up 12-1 now in the top of the 5th. So good opportunity there, goes by the wayside as they were able to get Brenlin Richmond to hit the ball to third, but the errant throw allows the runner to score, and that puts Corey Kramer around for run number 12. First pitch coming into number 9, that's Macy Kramer. She takes ball 1. So 1-0 here to Macy Kramer. Macy had a base hit in the first. She struck out in the second. She had another hit in the fourth. This one going to be right over the shortstop. That's going to be out to center. Tinley Scott fields it. Runner's coming around, and she's going to score. So Richmond's going to be able to score, and on the throw, it allows the hitter, Macy Kramer, to make it to second. And that'll be 13-1 now. So Vikings came into this inning down 10-1, give up 3 innings here. There's 3 runs here in the top of the 5th. First pitch going to be low, going to be ball 1. Going to get away from Norberg briefly, and that's going to allow the runner to move to third. So Macy Kramer over to third, Carson here at bat. 2 outs. 1-0 pitch, going to be high, it's going to be 2-0. Carmen Carson had a single in the first inning. This next one's going to be an outside pitch, ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Quick throw to third, not going to be in time. As I said, Carson had a single in the first inning. She was thrown out in the second and hit by a pitch in the fourth. 3-0 pitch here from Hip. Right down the center, strike 1 for Allison. Allison battling her way back here against Carson. Down on the count, 3-1. Next pitch high, that's going to be ball 4. And so we're going to see Carson head to first. So runners at the corners now for Hesston. Carson at first, Macy Kramer at third, and that'll bring up Reagan Eilert. Eilert has flown out both times she's been up today, so she's 0 for 2. Hip's first pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Gets away from Norberg, but not far enough. She's able to go corral it and get it back to Hip at the mound. 1-0 the count. Hip into the windup, the pitch. That one's going to be high, ball 2. Again, runners now at second and third as the runner advanced on that last passed ball. But it's 2-0 to Eilert. Eilert going to keep an eye on this one, clearly trying to make Hip pitch out of this. 2-0 pitch, swung on, fouled back, strike 1, going to be 2-1. Hip just coming right at her and challenge her on that one, trying to get that first strike on the board. Eilert this season only hitting .042. Next pitch, swung on, fouled back, strike 2. 2-2 the count to Reagan Eilert. Eilert the junior. 2-2 the count. Hip gets the sign into the windup and the pitch. Got to be low and in the dirt. Ball 3. Ball gets away from Norberg, but not fast enough for them to decide to make anything from third. Again, runners at third and second. Got Kramer at third, got Carson at second. 2 outs. Full count to Eilert. Wind up in the pitch. Swung on. That's going to be strike 3. The K for Allison Hip will get us out of the inning. So that's out number 3, but not before 3 runs cross here in the top of the 5th. And as we head to the bottom of the 5th, the Vikings find themselves down 13-1. We'll be back with more action after this. And back here, bottom of the 5th inning, Vikings find themselves down 13-1 here as we get our first batter up. This will be Alexis Gordon. Alexis struck out in the 2nd inning. Elise Griffin still on the mound. First pitch swung on by Gordon. Drives the ball to center field, actually to left field. Catch is going to be made by the left fielder, and that's going to be the first out of inning number 5. So a fly out to the left fielder. Couldn't quite tell from here. Of course, that wind blowing pulled that left fielder over a little bit. Center fielder was drifting back there as well. But it's out number 1, a long fly out. That brings up Ava Brocksterman. Brocksterman has one of the 2 hits for the Vikings today. She had a single back in the 3rd. First pitch from Griffin, swung on, strike 1. So 0-1 the count now to Ava Brocksterman. Elise Griffin gets the sign into the windup and the pitch. Ball swung on. It's going to be hit out of play down the first base line. It's going to be 0-2 now to Brocksterman. Vikings desperately needing to put some runs on the board. Kind of been the MO the last few games. Just haven't been able to manufacture a lot of runs to be able to combat against some other teams here. The 0-2 pitch from Griffin. Outside corner, reaching for it was Brocksterman, and that's going to be strike 3. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning for the Vikings. Now down to 1 more out here in this bottom of the 5th, trailing 13-1. That'll be 11 strikeouts now, I believe, for Elise Griffin. First pitch coming in, ball foul tipped, but it's going to be a strike here to Kelsey Adam. Adam struck out in the 3rd inning. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count to Kelsey Adam. Griffin into the windup, and the pitch. 0-2, swung on, hit on the ground to first. Ball muffed over there a little bit, but she's going to touch the bag for the 3rd out, and that'll make it the end of the 5th here as the Vikings fall in this opener 13-1. Game's going to be called after 5. Of course, 10-run rule anywhere after 5. So again, Vikings got those 3 runs against them there late, and that caused the outcome to be the way it was. We got senior night activities coming up here in just a moment. Want to remind you of those Vikings seniors that we want to talk about here briefly. You've got Kelsey Adam, Allison Barleen, Jamie Bean, Ava Brocksterman, Jordan Elseth, Allison Hip, Kayla Norberg, and Tinley Scott. Also want to thank Mike Rose for his live stream tonight. We're going to turn up the mic here and hopefully be able to catch a little bit of Mr. Swisher introducing the people out there on the field. But if nothing else, we'll sure have live video footage of that as well. If they stand in the right spot, we'll try to even come back here and announce them maybe a little bit while they're being announced. Otherwise, we'll send it back to just the video, and we'll be back for Game 2 of the doubleheader in just a bit.
All right, at this time, we'd like to recognize our seniors. Start with our managers, one of whom cannot be here today. Avery Allstat went home sick today. So we have Adrian Hazelwood. Adrian is the daughter of Lacey and Alex Brooks. So Avery and Adrian have been scorekeepers, comment transcribers, and dugout jesters for the past 4 years. I've had a number of managers over the past 25 years, but this duo has been the most fun to have around while also doing a great job. Thank you, Adrian. Kelsey Adam. Kelsey is the daughter of Brandy and Eric Adam. Kelsey's a 3-year letter winner. This year she's been excellent at second base. Kelsey plans to attend Bethany College and major in graphic design. Next we have Allison Barleen. Allison is the daughter of Jennifer Barleen and Joe Risher. Barleen has been a 4-year participant in softball. She will be attending K-State, majoring in environmental engineering. Jamie Bean. Jamie is the daughter of Juanita and Leroy Bean. Jamie is also a 4-year participant in softball and plans to attend Bethany College to major in criminal justice. Next we have Ava Brocksterman. Ava is the daughter of April Brocksterman and Toby Brocksterman. Ava is a 4-year starter and letter winner. Ava was all-league selection as a freshman and sophomore. She will be attending Bethel College, where she will be majoring in communication arts. Next we have Jordan Elseth. Jordan is the daughter of Jamie and Jeremy Elseth. Jordan is a 3-year starter and letter winner. She will be attending KU and majoring in exercise science. Allison Hipp. Allison is the daughter of Heather and Alan Hipp. Allison is a 3-year starter and 4-year letter winner. She plans to attend Wichita State University and major in accounting. Smart girl. Kayla Norberg. Kayla is the daughter of Jody and Mark Norberg. Kayla is a 3-year starter and letter winner. Last year she was selected to the All-League team as a catcher. Kayla has signed with Southeast Community College to play softball and major in livestock management and production. And our final senior, Tinley Scott. Tinley is the daughter of Deidre and AJ Scott. Tinley's a 3-year starter and letter winner. Tinley is going to Wichita State University and will be majoring in biology. A lot of talent here, a lot of play, a lot of experience. Ladies, thank you for all you've done in the last 4 years.
All right, and before we get our gifts or anything, I think it's important to recognize our coach, Chris McClure, for 25 years of coaching. And he will be moving on to go be a principal at El Saline. Thank you, Coach McClure.
And then, per usual, our underclassmen have a gift for each senior, but they are escorted by the summer league team, the Vikings. So, come on up. All right. So, Tinley. We have Kayla. Allison Hipp. Gordon. Ava Broxterman. Jamie Bean. Barlene. Kelsey Adams. And we have one for our manager. We have one for Adrian. And that actually is probably for the it's not here. You girls have been great to coach with. Thank you, parents, so much for sharing them with us. Couldn't have asked for a better 8 girls.
We love Chris McClure.
Okay, one last thing. Nicole and I have together haven't even had enough numbers that Coach has been coaching. He's been here 25 years. Together, Nicole and I have 21 years of 18 of me being with Chris and 13 with Nicole being with Chris. And thank you. That's all I got to say.
Go get your hot dog. Yeah. You can watch it on game.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good.
I am.
Sit out here.
You're fine. I'm gonna bat. What did they do?
I got tired of telling people, so I just let them do what they thought.
Oh, I would have called.
He just had sinus surgery a year ago.
Yeah, in October, right after our anniversary.
How are you? I'm so excited to see you here.
What the heck?
Good to see you, Junior.
I can't feel my foot.
Is it really? Can you still see it? Yeah, I am. How's that look? I'm okay with a little fence on the left. I'm not going to win. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that fence. Let's do this. Nah. Maybe. Can you still see first? Okay. We'll go with that.
Suck it up. Walk in right now.
Here's your $2.
Oh, we better get going. Hey, we better get going. I'm coming. Where's my lineup? I'm coming. Corey, you got it wrong.
How's that? Is it straight? Is the horizon level? Is it? Like that? Like that? Okay. Is the horizon straight? Okay. Yeah, I don't want crooked though. Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
I know, that's why I was like, wait, am I still working? I've done this every other time.
That was a strike. Home run.
Wait, watch my frame.
No one cares about your
She was walking just fine when I picked her up. And then just fine Saturday night at the restaurant. Just text him. I said, you really think we're going to pity?
Catch it, Emma.
Been there, done that.
That was good. To the roar. To the roar. Got it.
Put the chair up, Shane. And I'm like,
I want to toss it here, Rick. I'm joking. Don't say
And welcome back for Game 2 of the doubleheader today between Hesston and Smoky Valley here in softball. Doug Schneider joining you. Mike Rose over here making sure the live stream is working well for you. We're glad you're able to join us here on live.smokyvalley.org. Vikings fall in Game 1, 13-1 here, and preparing now for Game 2. First batter up the lefty here, Wendy Roth. Allison Hipp into the windup, the pitch. Going to be ball one out of the gate here on our first pitch. Of course, Hipp pitching in Game 1 as well. She's going to get the nod here in Game 2. The 1-0 pitch from Hipp. This one also low and in the dirt. Going to be ball 2. Roth had a solid Game 1. Speedy on the base pass. 2-0 pitch from Hipp. Inside strike 1. Nice job finding that inside corner by Hipp, and that's going to take the count to 2-1. If you're just joining us, Roth, the freshman, hitting .383 on the season. The 2-1 pitch outside, going to be ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Roth. Roth also has had 19 base on balls coming into this evening's contests. 3-1 pitch from Hipp. Outside and low, going to be ball 4, and that's going to put the first runner on base here in Game 2. Of course, Vikings got off to a rough start in Game 1, giving up 8 runs in the first inning. Never really recovering from that, only giving up 5 runs in the remainder of the contest to lose that opener 13-1. So Roth on first. That'll bring up our number 2 hitter here, Elise Griffin. She squares to bunt. Ball's going to come in high. Quick throw to second base. In time to Haxton for the out. So the throw out there from Kayla Norberg to Kinsley Haxton for the first out of the inning. 1-0 now the count to Griffin. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember if it was 1-0 or not. 2-0. We'll see if the umpire will tell me if we're 2-0 or 1-1 on this one, see if I'm off. She squared to bunt on that first one, but I thought she pulled back. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, tight, going to move it to 3-0. If I'm right. Elise Griffin, the pitcher of record in Game 1, if I'm not mistaken, finished that game with 11 strikeouts. That ball's going to come in high, and that's going to be a base on balls. So first time, so 2 straight batters, 2 straight base on balls. Coach McClure is going to go out and talk to Hip on the mound here. Just give her a little break, settle her down a little bit. Again, beautiful throw out there from Kayla Norberg to the shortstop Kinsley Haxton at second to take down Wendy Roth, the freshman, after she got on base on a base on balls. But the second batter here up as well. So 1 out, 1 on for Hesston here in the top of the first. That'll bring up Justice Large. She was the catcher in Game 1. She's moved out to left field here for Game 2. Large hitting .388 on the season. First pitch from Hip. High, ball 1. Hip trying to find that strike zone here in Game 2. The 1-0 pitch from Hip, right down the center. She finds it that time. 1-1 the count. Caught Large looking on that one. Large did a great job behind the plate in Game 1. Like we said, catching for Elise Griffin. Inside, going to be ball 2. Trying to paint that inside corner. There was Hip, but not able to find it. Not able to get her to bite. That moves us to 2-1 in the count. Hip into the windup. The pitch bounces in that time. That's going to send the runner to second as it gets by Kayla Norberg. That's going to move us to 3-1 in the count. Large only walked 6 times so far this season. Swinging right to Haxton at short. Haxton fields it to Toll. Quickly over to third to see if they get the double play. Nice, smart base running there by Elise Griffin. We get the out at first, but that will move a runner into scoring position over to third as Elise Griffin, the pitcher from Game 1, able to get herself over there. But a nice play by Kinsley Haxton. She completes the 6-3 put out. Next batter up, Corey Kramer. Kramer in center field here. First pitch, swung on, hit to Haxton as short. She fields it. Quickly over to Toll, low one. She fields it, and that'll be out number 3. So the Vikings able to get out of the top part of the first here with a couple of base on balls, but nothing, no damage. And so at the end of a half an inning, it's Smoky Valley 0 and Hesston 0. We'll be back for the bottom of the first. And back here for the bottom of the first here, Smoky Valley softball. Want to remind you again, senior night activities taking place tonight. Mentioned our seniors earlier in the contest. Want to run through that list again really quick. Of course, Kelsey Adam, Allison Barleen, Jamie Bean, Ava Brocksterman, Jordan Elseth, Allison Hip, Kayla Norberg and Tinley Scott. Also wanted to point out 2 managers that I missed in Game 1, Avery Allstet, as well as, drawing a blank, Adrian Hazelwood. Okay? So, again, great helpers. Adrian helped me on Tuesday or last week when we went to Larned with stats and also some scoring there to really help us out in the contest, make that a little smoother for me. So, bottom of the first. First batter up, Kinsley Haxton. First pitch, inside for a ball. New pitcher here in Game 2, Brenlyn Richmond. Richmond 4-1 on the season. She has an ERA of 2.96. Second pitch, swung on, foul tipped, going to be strike 1. 1-1 the count now to Kinsley Haxton. The 1-1 pitch to Haxton, swung on, driven down the third baseline, foul. Right by head coach Chris McClure. That'll move the count to 1-2. Haxton comes in, hitting .419 on the season, .615 on base percentage. She leads the teams in hit by pitch with 10, many of those coming early in the season. Richmond into the windup, the pitch. Little curveball action there. The ball had a lot of movement on it. Tipped it. Looked like we may have gotten the umpire just a smidge there as well on that foul tip. Count remains 1-2. Going to try to brush that one off a little bit, give her a little bit of time as the catcher goes out to the pitcher's mound. Just making sure everybody's got a little bit of time to settle back in. Again, Brenlyn Richmond, the freshman, so previous game, the sophomore Griffin collected 11 strikeouts as she got her 9th win on the season. Next pitch here on the 1-2 count, swung on, fouled sharply down the first base line and out of play. Count remains 1-2 to Haxton. Griffin came into game 1, 111 Ks. She put 11 more on the board to move to 122. Richmond only 18 Ks on the year, only pitching 28 innings though. Next pitch, down the third base line for Haxton. It's going to stay fair. That's going to get her on first base. So the leadoff batter for the Vikings gets on here in the bottom of the first, and Vikings giving themselves a chance to get on the board here with a single by Kinsley Haxton. That'll be Haxton's 19th hit on the season. Tinley Scott next up now. First pitch in there, strike 1. Tinley Scott coming in hitting .360, .467 on base percentage, a .380 slugging percentage. She's got 9 RBIs on the season. She's going to square to bunt. That one goes foul. That'll be strike 2. Tinley trying to get around on that one and push that runner around. Haxton, very intelligent base runner, just generally, but especially for a freshman. She was able to get around last week against Larned, get a run from first base on a couple of overthrows. 0-2 pitch here from Richmond to Scott. Swung on, driven to right field. Getting her back. It's over her head. It's going to land. That's going to be trouble. Haxton had to tag. She's going to be held up at third, I believe. Scott's going to have to turn around and try to get back. They've got her caught in a rundown. Quick throw to home. It's going to score. Great base running there by the Vikings. Tinley got kind of hung out between second and third, but ultimately it works out as Haxton's able to get around and get in, and the Vikings find themselves on top here in the first inning, 1-0. What looked like it might be disaster for a moment and an out. Excellent base running by Kinsley Haxton and Tinley Scott, able to get Tinley over to third base here on that hit. Riley Toll down the third base line, just going foul. Strike 1. Viking bats coming alive a little bit here in game 2, especially here in this bottom of the first. Vikings had 1 run in all of game 1. Already get their first run on the board here in game 2 in the first inning. Toll takes the 0-1 pitch. Low. He's going to hit that one foul and out of play. It's going to be strike 2. So 0-2 now the count to Riley Toll. Toll comes into tonight's contest hitting .308 on the season. She also has 20 RBIs, a chance for number 21 here if she can bring Scott in from third base. The 0-2 pitch to Toll. Caught the inside corner, strike 3. That's going to be the first out of the bottom of the first inning. Nice job painting that corner there by Brenlin Richmond. That'll bring up Kayla Norberg. First pitch to Norberg. That one hits her. That's going to be a hit by pitch. That's going to send Norberg to first. We'll have a courtesy runner coming in now for Norberg, of course, is the catcher. Have an opportunity to get Sophia Fruits in there to be the runner. And so now the Vikings find themselves with runners at the corners. Got Fruits at first. Got Tinley Scott at third. That will bring up Kate Griffin. Griffin had a hit in the last game as well, one of the 2 hits the Vikings were able to manufacture in Game 1. First pitch to Kate Griffin. Outside high, going to be ball 1. Griffin, another one of those talented freshmen, coming in hitting .362, an on-base percentage of .444. Next pitch, right down the middle, strike 1. 1-1 the count. Richmond just challenging her on that one, freshman to freshman. The 1-1 pitch now. Richmond into the windup. That one's going to be outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count to Kate Griffin. Griffin came into the night with 17 hits. Of course, had 1 hit in Game 1. That pushed her to 18 hits. 1-1 pitch. Caught that inside corner again. Fruit's going to take off to second. So Sophia gets in there safely. And so that'll put runners at second and third now as we're 2-2 in the count to Kate Griffin. The 2-2 pitch from Richmond. Swung on and missed. That's strike 3. That'll be the second K of this first inning for Brenlin Richmond. So 2 outs, 2 aboard, Allison Hipp up. First pitch from Richmond. Down the center, strike 1. Hipp with an opportunity to extend that Viking lead as she's on the hill now for Game 2. She can get a hit here, probably going to get 2 runs pushed in. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, foul, down the third base line, strike 2. 0-2 now the count to Allison Hipp. Allison, one of those seniors again, hitting .243 this season with an on-base percentage of .404. The 0-2 pitch now coming out from Richmond. Into the windup, swung on and missed. That'll be strike 3. Richmond able to get herself out of a jam. She gets 3 Ks in inning number 1, but not before the Vikings are able to put 1 run across. And at the end of 1, it's Vikings 1, Hesston 0. We'll be back with the second inning in just a moment. And welcome back to Smoky Valley Smoky Valley Softball, top of the second. Volleyball will be coming up next fall. We'll have a little something to do with that again. But top of the second inning, Vikings get on top here with a run scored in the bottom of the first. Meanwhile, a score update from our baseball game. 20-4, Hesston knocks off Smoky Valley in Game 1. Early in Game 2, it's Hesston up 4-0 as well. So that's over at Troy Miller Field. So if you have a chance to come out and watch that, that's also on adastraradio.com as well. Top of the second, Allison Hipp back on the hill. First pitch, ball 1. Up to bat now, our pitcher of record in Game 2, that's Brenlin Richmond. Knocked down 3 Ks in inning number 1 despite giving up 1 earned run. 1-0 pitch, high again, ball 2. 2-0 to Richmond. Richmond comes in hitting .339 on the season. 2-0 pitch. Caught the outside corner, strike one from Hip. 2-1 now the count to Richmond. Richmond got 19 hits on the season. 2-1 pitch coming in low. It's going to be ball 3. Richmond 2 triples, 4 doubles on the season. Inside hand on the handles. Ball up in the air. Going to be caught by Kelsey Adam from second base. So Richmond flies out to the second baseman here for out number 1 in the second inning. And the Vikings doing their job, keeping them off the base paths. And collecting out number 1. Next batter up, Macy Kramer. Kramer takes the first pitch, low and in the dirt, going to be ball 1. Kramer comes in hitting .170 on the season. Does have 10 RBIs on the season as well. 1-0 pitch now from Hip to Kramer. That ball's going to come in high. That's going to move us to 2-0. So top of the second, Vikings find themselves up 1-0 after a 1-run bottom of the first. Now got 1 out on the board. Swung on, hit to third. Ball just funny hop at the last second, right up and over the glove of Ava Brocksterman. And that's going to be a single for Macy Kramer. First hit of the contest for Hesston, as they got on base a couple of times in the first inning on 2 base on balls. Next batter up, Carmen Carson. First pitch, low, ball 1. That's going to advance the runner to second, safe and in time. So ball 1 to Carson. She comes in hitting .231, 9 hits on the season, one of those a double. A little delay here as we work the umpire back over into position. The field umpire. Second pitch going to come in high. It's going to be ball 2. Gets away from Norberg to the fence, and that's going to push her to third. Another one gets through there on the return play, and that's going to push a run back in for Hesston. Just some errant play there by the Vikings, causing a run to come in as they advance from first to second on the steal, second to third on the pass ball, and then third to home as the ball gets by the pitcher and into the outfield. So now it's 1-1. Pitch right in there by Hip. Going to make it 2-1 now to Carson. So Kramer makes her way all the way around the base paths, picks up a run there off of her single. Next pitch, strike as well. Hip battles back to get it to 2-2 now against Carson with 1 out. Two-two pitch, swung on, fouled back to the fence. Going to stay 2-2. Carson, another one of those freshmen. Looking down their list, only a couple of seniors on that list that have played significant play for them. That's Corey Kramer, one of those seniors, and Justice Large, the other. Next pitch in the dirt, going to be ball 3. 3-2 now, the count to Carson. So the count goes to full. Gets the sign, the 3-2 pitch. Trying to work that inside corner just a little low, and that'll be a base on balls there. So that'll put another base runner on base for Hesston as Carmen Carson moves over to first. And Kinsley Hamilton up to bat now. Did not play in game 1. Hamilton, the junior. Squares to bunt. Pulls back at the last second. Going to be strike 1. Nice opening pitch there by Allison Hip, attacking the batter. Hamilton comes in hitting .120 on the season. Got 3 hits, but has 10 runs scored. Second pitch swung on to third. Broxterman under it, makes the throw to first in time to Toll. That'll be out number 2 here in inning number 2. Broxterman pretty active over there at third base. A lot of Hesston's hitting going over in that direction. Next batter up, Emma Gudeman. Inside pitch, going to get away from Norberg, and that's going to get the runner over to third. So Carson advances. Went from first to second on the ground out and second to third on the pass ball. What'd they say?
They're going to put her back on to second. I didn't see why. Home plate umpire was motioning.
Wonder if it hit the bat. I wonder if it hit the plate. So they're going to move her back to second now. They don't always keep us in the know of everything, but I'm pretty sure it's still 1-0. Hip on the pitch. Inside high. Going to be 2-0. Ball got by the pitcher. Kelsey Adams doing her job right there at second base, backing her up. Got to corral it. So 2-0 now, the count to Gudeman. Into the windup, the pitch. Swung on, ball delivered into right field, right in front of Jordan Elseth. She rears back, makes the throw to the cutoff Toll to the home plate. Not going to be in time. Carson's going to get in, and she's going to score, and that's going to put Hesston on top. 2-1 now. And we're back to the top of the lineup. No, maybe not. Griffin's up, sorry. Wendy Roth was actually the first was up there. I think we had a hit batsman on the previous play. I think that's what I missed. They moved her over to first base. So Gudeman now is sitting over at third. Wendy Roth ended up making that hit for Hesston. 1-1 now, the count to Griffin. Caught the inside corner, caught her looking. 1-2 now, the count to Elise Griffin. Swung on ball, hit into the gap between left and center. Great range by Alexis Gordon. She makes the play. Alexis Gordon coming over from her left field position on her horse, made the grab, and that's out number 3, and the Vikings survive here, giving up 2 runs in the second inning, but still trailing now 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. We'll be back after this break. And back here, Smoky Valley softball, game 2 of the doubleheader today. Vikings losing the first game, the opener, 13-1. Got out to an early start as they scored in the bottom of the first inning here in game 2, but give up 2 runs in the top of the second. Find themselves down 2-1 now as we head to the bottom of 2. First batter up for the Vikings, Alexis Gordon. Gordon, the sophomore, hitting .282 on the season. Going to work now with number 24, Brenlin Richmond. First pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1 to Gordon. 3 strikeouts for Richmond in inning number 1 after the Vikings were able to get on the board. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. 0-2 now to Gordon. Richmond, not a lot of strikeouts on the year, but she has been solid in this one. This one's going to be swung on and missed. Be strike 3, throw to first in time because the ball got away from the catcher, and that'll be out number 1 on another K for Richmond. That'll make 4 strikeouts in the contest for Brenlin Richmond, the freshman. That'll bring up number 3, Ava Brocksterman. Brocksterman got one of the hits in game 1. First pitch coming in, ball. Vikings only able to muster up a couple of hits in game 1. Kate Griffin had one of those. Ava Brocksterman had the other. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball hit in the air. Pitcher's underneath it. Richmond's going to help herself out by making the grab, and that's out number 2. So Brocksterman flies out to the pitcher here for the second out of the second inning. And that'll bring up Kelsey Adam. Kelsey Adam, a senior. 8 hits on the season, hitting 182. First pitch swung on, ball in between center and left, going to drop, and that's going to be another hit for Kelsey Adams. So that's Adams' 9th hit on the season. Great job by Kelsey. Got a base runner on here for the Vikings. Again, Kelsey, one of those seniors recognized tonight as part of senior night. That moves us back to the top of the order. Kinsley Haxton up. First pitch to Haxton, swung on over the second baseman, and that's going to land between right and center. That's going to push Adam to third, Haxton to second. Adam's going to turn the corner, but she's going to think better of it and head right on back to third base. So a 2-out double by Kinsley Haxton coming up right after a 2-out single by Kelsey Adam. Gets 2 runners on base now, and that'll bring Tinley Scott up with an opportunity to drive in some runs. Scott already this season with 9 RBIs, a chance to pick up maybe 10 and 11 right here. First pitch going to hit her. Hit by pitch. That's going to send Tinley directly to first. That's going to load up the bases here for Smoky Valley in the bottom of the second. Bases loaded, Riley Toll coming up to bat. Toll, the junior, brings her .308 batting average up to the plate. Also leads the team in RBIs with 20. Good opportunity for her here with 2 runners in scoring position and the bases loaded, but 2 outs up on the board. Brenlin Richmond on the hill for Hesston. Trying to dig her way out of a bases loaded jam here. First pitch, high, ball 1. Toll has walked 5 times this season. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, ball hit in the air, high. Second baseman coming over down the line. Ball drops. That's going to score 2 Viking runners as the ball dropped right there down that second base line. Allows the Vikings to move up to a 3-2 lead on Toll's ball right there for the single. And that'll bring in Haxton and Adam and move Tinley Scott to third. Two outs, that'll bring up Kayla Norberg. First pitch to Norberg. Swung on, strike 1. A 1 pitch. Swung on. Shortstop ranging over, but she's not going to be in time. She's going to get to it, but not in time to make the throw, and that's going to push another run across. And now a 3-run second inning for the Vikings has them on top 4-2. Kayla Norberg making a big single right there to drive in a run. That moves Toll to second, and as we said, scored Tinley Scott from third. That'll bring up Kate Griffin. Griffin with 2 runners on, 2 outs. First pitch inside. Kate looked like she wanted to go for it for just a second there, pulled back, and she painted the inside corner with that one, did Richmond. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch, swung on, 0-2. 0-2 now to Griffin. 2 outs. Vikings picking up 3 runs here in the bottom of the second after picking up 1 run in the bottom of the first. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That'll be strike 3, and that'll be strikeout number 5 for Brenlin Richmond. But not before the Vikings find 3 runs here in the bottom of the second, and they're on top now 4-2 as we head to the top of the third. We'll be back right after this break. And back here to the Smoky Valley Softball Diamond. Smoky Valley Softball today's senior night. And the Vikings, after losing game 1, get the bats going here in game 2. Picked up 1 run in game 1. Already had 4 runs here in game 2. Got 1 in the bottom of the first. Got 3 in the bottom of the second. Hesston 0 in the top of the first, 2 in the top of the second. And as we enter into inning number 3, it's Smoky Valley 4, Hesston 2. Justice Large up to the plate now for Hesston. Large 0 for 1 in this contest. Hip with the delivery. Haxton ranging over as the ball's hit to Toll, and that's out number 1. A nice 6-3 put out by Smoky Valley for out number 1 in the 3rd inning. That'll bring up Corey Kramer. Corey Kramer was the victim of the exact same thing as 6-3 put out in inning number 1 to end the inning. First pitch from Hip, swung on, right to Haxton, over to Toll, and exactly the same outcome this time, 6-3 put out for Smoky Valley, and that'll be out number 2. Haxton showing that range, getting behind the ball, doing a great job delivering the out, and the Vikings get 2 outs on the board here in the top of the 3rd. Our next batter up, our pitcher, Brenlin Richmond. Richmond takes ball 1. Richmond flew out to the second baseman in the second inning. 1-0 pitch, going to be high, ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Richmond knocking down 5 strikeouts so far in her first 2 innings, but giving up 4 runs to the Vikings. 2-0 pitch, outside and high, ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Richmond. Smoky Valley collecting the first 2 outs of the inning on 6-3 putouts. Both balls hit to shortstop, Kinsley Haxton. 3-0 pitch, low, ball 4. That'll have a base runner on. Probably going to see a courtesy runner here. Might see a courtesy runner, but it looks like she's going to stay. Richmond's going to stay and run. That'll bring up Macy Kramer. Kramer scored the lone run for Hesston earlier in the contest. First pitch, strike 1 from Hip to Kramer. Again, 2 outs, top of the 3rd, runner on first is Richmond. Kramer up to bat. 0-1 pitch, low into the dirt, going to be ball 1. 1-1 the count. Kramer got a single in the second inning, and some snazzy base running got her around. She was able to score the lone, or one of their 2 runs in that inning, the first of their 2 runs. Next pitch, swung on, hit foul down the first base line. That's going to make it 1-2 to Kramer. Hip trying to get out of this with a scoreless 3rd inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball hit in the air to short. Haxton under it. She makes the play, and that's 3 up, 3 down for the Vikings here in the top of the third. And after 2.5, it's Smoky Valley 4, Hesston 2. We'll be back for the bottom of the third right after this. And back here, more action, bottom of the third. Doug Schneider in here reporting with you on live.smokyvalley.org. Great to have you on board with us tonight. Thanks to Mike Rose for setting us up tonight and giving us an opportunity to be able to broadcast this senior night. Of course, all those seniors we mentioned recognized earlier, as well as our senior managers as well. First batter here in the bottom of the third, going to be Allison Hipp. Hipp's going to take ball one outside here on her first pitch. Vikings find themselves up 4-2 now here in this bottom of the third inning. Richmond. Ball hit sharply by Kelsey Adam to the third baseman. Nice throw over to first base in time for the 5-3 put out by Kelsey Adam there. Following an Ava Brocksterman single. Sorry, we went off the air just briefly there, but that'll be 3 up, 3 down. Well, 4 up, 3 down for the Vikings there in inning number 3. And that'll push us to the top of the fourth. It's Smoky Valley 4, Hesston 2. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back here as we get ready to start the top of the fourth inning. Vikings up 4-2. Started to make mention there in the third inning of our senior night festivities and all those great seniors and managers who are going to be moving on to other places, other locations. And, of course, one of those is our beloved Chris McClure, who has been at the helm of this program for 25 straight years. Second coach ever in the history of Smoky Valley softball. Certainly going to miss all the contributions that he has made here. And we wish him well as he moves on to his next position. Again, got to be missed, as was as was demonstrated there between games, as they provided him with a couple of gifts. Difficult things to talk about when you've been a part of the program for as long as he has. Allison Hipp's first pitch here, ball in the dirt to number 4, Carmen Carson. Carson had a base on balls early in the contest in the second inning. Second pitch, high, ball 2. 2-0 the count now to Carson. Hip into the windup, the 2-0 pitch. Low, ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Carson. Vikings survived inning number 3, did not give up any runs whatsoever, and only one base runner. Do not want to put that opening base runner here on. Nice pitch right down the center. It looked like Carson was taking the whole time there at 3-0, and that'll move us to 3-1. Nice pitch by Allison Hipp. She's gone the distance today, pitching game 1 and now game 2. 3-1 pitch by Hipp. Low and in the dirt, going to be ball 4. That's going to send the runner to first. So Carson on now, lead runner on here in the top of the 4th for Hesston, trailing 2-4. Next batter up, Kinsley Hamilton. She was a 5-3 putout in the second inning. First pitch, high, ball 1. Runner on first, Hamilton steps in. Hipp on the rubber, the windup, the pitch, high, ball 2. Norberg doing a great job checking out that runner at first, making sure she stays home and stays alert. Hipp now, 2-0 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt. We go to 3-0. So back-to-back batters. Hipp gets down the count 3-0. Got a runner over there at first base in Carson. Got Hamilton at the plate. Vikings up 4-2, top of the 4th. 3-0 pitch from Hipp. Right down the center, strike 1. Mimicking that last at bat by Carson here. Hipp gets down 3-0, delivers a nice strike in the 3-1 pitch. Needs to continue battling here. Hipp into the windup, the pitch. Ball low, gets away. That's going to force the runner over as well. So you're going to see Carson go to second. And that's going to put Hamilton on first. 2 runners on, nobody out. Coach McClure going to go to the hill here. Have a visit with his pitcher here for just a second. Haven't gotten any new updates from baseball yet, but remember we do have baseball going on over at Troy Miller Field. They will get going Thursday with regionals already this week. Of course, with baseball, you've got to worry about pitch counts and all that kind of stuff. And so they actually get started on a Thursday game here. They will play at Hesston Thursday at 5 o'clock. Vikings softball still awaiting the outcome of tonight's games to figure out where they will end up. If they can get a win and Plainville does not get a win, that will move them up to the 6th seed. If they lose the nightcap, they're at the will, possibly if Plainville loses, they're at the mercy of the coin flip. Possibility of going back to Hoisington if they fall to the 7, or traveling to Minneapolis or playing Minneapolis if they move up to the 6. Going to make a pitching change here now in the top of the 4th. Ava Brocksterman's going to see her first stint on the mound tonight. A lot of times Ava will be the pitcher of record in game 2. Tonight they went back with Hipp. But Ava makes an appearance now with runners on first and second. Nobody out. Emma Gudeman up to bat. She got a hit. She was hit by a pitch her last time up in the second inning. So 2 on, nobody out. Top of the 4th. Vikings up 4-2. Into the windup, the pitch. She squares the bunt, and she's going to bunt foul. It's going to be strike 1. Oh and 1. The pitch, low, strike. Ball gets away, though. It is going to be a strike, but the ball got away from Norberg, and that allowed both runners to move over. So that's going to get runners to second and third now. Second and third. 0-2 the count to Gudeman. Ooh, off-speed pitch. She was really trying to wind that one in there. That one not a strike. It's going to be 1-2. Gudeman watched that one the whole way in. Swung on. Nice catch at third by Allison Hipp. The ball snow-coned over there by Hipp as it was hit sharply by Gudeman, but she got the out, tried to get over and get third base tagged in time, but to no avail. But still an out for the Vikings over there by Allison Hipp, and that gets 1 out on the board. So 1 out, 2 on. Those runners are at second and third. Back to the top of the lineup with Roth. First pitch, outside corner, strike 1. The 0-1 pitch to Roth. Ball in the dirt outside, going to be ball one. 1-1 the count. Wendy Roth, the freshman. 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, ball two. Couldn't quite find that one. Two and one the count. Brocksterman delivers. Ball hits sharply to second. Kelsey Adam to first in time for the out. So the force at first, but that will score a runner, and that'll make it 4-3. Runner advances. That will be Hamilton. She's going to move over to third, now with two outs. Vikings still lead 4-3. Next batter up, Elise Griffin. Griffin swings away right down the middle. That's going to score the run from third. Tinley Scott right behind it, throws the ball back in, but not before they put another run on the board. 4-4 now. A two-run fourth inning here for Hesston. Justice Large up to bat now. Justice 6-3 both times up, so she's 0 for 2 in this contest. Swung on, ball delivered to left field. It's going to land fair. Alexis Gordon gets underneath it. She's going to make the throw into third. Not in time, and that's going to push the Griffin all the way over to third. And that's going to put Large on base at first. So the single by Justice Large. Runners now at the corners for Hesston as they've picked up two runs here in the fourth inning to tie this contest at 4-all. First pitch, Brocksterman, ball delivered, hit in the air to left field. Gordon ranging over, she makes the grab, and that's out number 3 for Hesston. So the Vikings collect the third out on the Alexis Gordon's catch out in left, but not before they pick up two runs, and at the end of 3.5, it's Smoky Valley 4, Hesston 4. We'll be back with the bottom of the fourth after this message.
Changing pitcher and catcher, but they're not changing the lineup.
Got you. Thanks, Don. And back here, Smoky Valley softball, bottom of the fourth inning. Vikings giving up two runs in the top of the fourth. Back to a tie contest now where fours across the board. 4 for Smoky Valley, 4 for Hesston, and the bottom of the fourth inning. A pitching change for Hesston. They go back to their pitcher of record from game 1, so Elise Griffin back on the hill. Her 11 strikeouts in game 1. She brings that back here in game 2. They also make the move here and put Justice Large behind the plate. And I believe they moved the original pitcher, which was Richmond, back out in the field. First pitch here, Haxton up to bat. Outside corner, got it, strike one. She picks up right where she left off now from game 1. 0-1, the count to Kinsley Haxton. Into the windup, the pitch by Griffin. Fouled off, out of play, 0-2 the count. Richmond, again, as we said, came in to the day with 111 strikeouts. She left after game 1 with 11 more. So sitting at 122 now on the season. 0-2 pitch to Hesston. Swung on right off the hands, and she delivers it just beyond the dirt infield, right to center field. And that'll be a leadoff hit for Kinsley Hesston. Hesston's second hit of the contest. She's now 2 for 2 on the day. That'll bring up Tinley Scott. Wind up in the pitch to Scott. Outside, ball 1. Again, Hesston, always a danger to run from her, or when she's on first base or when she's on the base paths. Scott steps in, the 1-0 pitch from Griffin. Swung on, lifted in the air to left field. Left fielder's under it, makes the grab, and that's 1 out. So Tinley Scott flies out to left field here in the 5th inning, and that's out number 1 for Smoky Valley. Still got Hesston on first. Riley Toll up to bat. Toll struck out in the 1st inning. First pitch to Toll. Outside corner, strike 1. Toll trying to bring some batters home here, or some runners home, with a nice swing. 0-1 the count. Griffin into the windup. The pitch, low, going to be fouled back and out of play. Going to be 0-2 to Riley Toll. Toll, one of those juniors coming back next year. One of the stronger hitters the Vikings have had all season as well. Hitting .308 with an on-base percentage of .400. The 0-2 pitch now to Riley Toll. Into the windup. Swung on, ball hit to second. Tag out as the runner and a throw out at first. So a nice double play there made by number 13. That's Kinsley Hamilton. Did the job on her own. Collecting both outs. And at the end of 4, Vikings find themselves tied up as we head to the 5th inning. We'll be back in just a moment. And as we move into the top of the 5th inning here, Hesston finds themselves tied up. They were down 4-2 going into the 4th. Pick up 2 runs in the top of the 4th. Vikings unable to gather any runs of their own after a pitching change that brought back in Elise Griffin. And now up for Hesston, Brenly Richmond. Top of the 5th, knotted at 4. Good ball game here. Ava Brocksterman on the hill. First pitch, strike 1 for Brocksterman. Delivers it right down the center. Brocksterman in relief of Allison Hipp. She came in last inning. Second pitch, a little bouncer, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Brocksterman, high, going to be 2-1. Wind seems to have extremely died down out there right now. Can't even see the flag moving over there that we were originally seeing move. 2-1 pitch. A little high, but swung on, foul and out of the play. It's going to be 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Richmond. Low. Got to be 3-2 now. Full count. Leadoff batter at the top of the fifth. Brenlin Richmond. Starting pitcher in this game, relieved last inning by Elise Griffin. 3-2 pitch, inside and high, going to Walker. It's going to put the first runner on the base paths here in the top of the fifth for Hesston. Took advantage of that last inning with back-to-back base on balls, able to score 2 runs as a result. Next batter up, Macy Kramer. First pitch, low, ball 1. Kramer singled in the first inning, flew out to short in the second inning, flew out to short in the third inning. Strike 1 delivered by Brocksterman, moves the count to 1-1. Again, Richmond on first. Next pitch high, going to move the count to 2-1 to Kramer. Kramer settles in. Brockstrom with the pitch, low and in the dirt, going to be 3-1. So one runner on. Batter at the plate is Macy Kramer. 3-1 the count. Brockstrom with the wind up the pitch. Inside. Ball's going to get away. Doesn't matter. It's going to send the runner around to second. So 2 on now to open up the fifth inning. Both beneficiaries of base on balls. And our third batter of the inning is going to be Carmen Carson. Carson on base on balls. First time up. Base on balls second time up. First pitch high. Ball 1. So runners on first and second now for Carson. 1-0 pitch. Right down the center, strike 1. Nice pitch by Brocksterman. Top of the fifth, 4-all tie. 2 runners on, 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Carson. 2-1 pitch from Brocksterman. Swing and miss. 2-2 the count. Good inside corner pitch by Brocksterman. Forced her to make that swing. 2-2 now the count. Again, runners on first and second. Ball swung on, hit sharply between short and second. Scott's going to get behind it, hit the cutoff. That's going to load up the bases here in the fifth inning. Nice swing, nice hit. Carmen Carson moving batters around. Now that's going to load the bases here for Hesston. In a tie ball game now, top of the fifth. Nobody out. That'll bring up Kinsley Hamilton. Hamilton got the double put out there at the end of the last inning. First pitch, high and outside, ball 1. Hamilton steps in. Brocksterman gets the sign, the windup in the pitch. Ball 2, slightly high. 2-0 the count. Brocksterman's 2-0 pitch. Low and in the dirt, 3-0. Behind in the count now, 3-0, bases loaded. Brocksterman needs a strike. Right down the center, she gets it. On cue. Three and 1 the count now to Hamilton. Brocksterman into the windup. Right down the center, collects strike 2. 3-2. She battled her way back to get it back to a full count. The 3-2 pitch to Hamilton. Low into the dirt, gonna walk in a run. That'll make it 5-4 now here in the top of the fifth. Hesston back on top. First time on top so far in this game, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll bring up Emma Gudeman. First pitch swung on and missed, strike one. 0-1 pitch, swung on, hit to third. Hip gets underneath it, throw to home. Not in time, it's going to be safe. All the runners advance, and that'll make it 6-4 Hesston. Bases remain loaded, nobody out, top of the fifth. 2 runs already across here in this inning. Vikings now find themselves down 6-4. Brocksterman steps into the leadoff batter, Roth. High, ball one. The lefty Roth steps in, going to take one outside corner, strike one. 1-1 now the count. 1-1 pitch from Brocksterman, swung on, ball's in the air, could be trouble, it heads out to left, off the glove of Alexis Gordon. That's going to score another run, and that's going to push all the runners around. So 7-4 now here in the top of the fifth. 3 runs across with nobody out. And that'll bring up Elise Griffin. First pitch to Griffin from Brocksterman. Ball hits sharply to short, and it sneaks right through the hands of Kinsley Haxton, and that'll bring 2 runs across on the single. 9-4 now. 5-run, 5th inning so far for Hesston. That ball just snuck right on through there. It looked like she was going to be able to make the play. Unfortunately, was not able to do so. That brings around Hamilton from third and Gudeman from second. And the score goes to 9-4, Hesston. Next batter up, Justice Large. First pitch inside, off the fence. That'll advance both runners to second and to third. So 2 runners in scoring position now for Justice Large as she took ball 1. Now takes ball 2. Vikings looking to get that first out up on the board here in the 5th inning. A 5-run 5th so far for Hesston. Runners in scoring position. Ball swung on. Foul out of play. It's going to take it to 2-1. Two-one pitch to Large. She pulls back at the last second, 3-1. Ball was a little high. First base open here. Don't have to give away everything on this pitch. Pitch from Brocksterman. Going to be high and inside, ball 4, and that's going to push her over. So that'll load up the bases as Large heads to first. So Large on first, Griffin on second, Roth on third. That brings up Corey Kramer. Nobody out still for Hesston. First pitch to Kramer, outside, ball 1. Corey Kramer steps in. Ava Brocksterman into the windup. The pitch, ball hits sharply down the third base line, foul. Going to be strike 1. A sharp swing there by Corey Kramer, driving that ball down the third base line. Kramer, one of those 2 seniors on this squad. Top of the 5th, 9-4 Hesston. Ava Brocksterman into the windup and the pitch, inside, high, ball 2. 2-1 now the count to Corey Kramer. The 2-1 pitch from Brocksterman. Right on the inside corner, 2-2 the count. Brocksterman trying to battle out of trouble now. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit sharply to short. Play by Hesston to first in time. That'll be the first out. That will also push runners around, and that'll score another run, and that'll make it 10-4 Hesston. So the 6-3 put out by Hesston will be out number 1 on the board for Hesston. And they're going to make it in. Ball hits sharply there. That's going to bring in a run. And that'll make it 11-4. That was Brenlin Richmond up getting that hit and pushing the runners around. Large goes to third. Griffin scores. First pitch here, low and in the dirt to Macy Kramer, ball 1. Kramer had a base on balls. She was the second batter of this inning. Next pitch, high and outside, ball 2. Runners on the corners for Hesston. A big 5th inning here. Inside pitch. Going to be ball 3. Quick throw over to third. Not in time. So 3-0 the count now to Macy Kramer. .30 pitch. Right down the center. Strike 1. 3-1 now. Nice pitch by Brocksterman. Kramer steps in. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on, hit to short. Hesston under it, makes the throw to first. In time, that's going to score Large from third, and that'll make it 12-4. So that'll make the second out of the inning, but that does push a runner in Richmond over to second, and it does score another run. First pitch in the dirt here. It's going to get away from Norberg. That's going to push the runner to third, so Richmond moves on over there on ball 1. Carson, the batter. Last time up for her was in this inning. She had a single. The 1-0 pitch. High, outside, ball 2. .20 pitch to Carson. Low, ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Brocksterman has been solid at being able to pick up that 3-0 strike. Needs one here. This one's going to be a little bit high. That's going to send the runner over to first. So runners at the corners now. Carson at first. Richmond at third. That'll bring up Kinsley Hamilton. First pitch swing, foul. That'll be strike 1. Brocksterman to the windup, the pitch, right down the center. Ball hits sharply to Kelsey Adam at second. Adam to Toll at first, and that'll be out number 3. So the Vikings collect that third out on a nice 4-3 putout of Hamilton, but not before they find 8 runs here in the top of the 5th. And at the end of 4.5, it's Hesston 12, Smoky Valley 4. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th in just a moment. And back here with Smoky Valley softball versus Hesston. Bottom of the fifth. Vikings giving up 8 runs in that top of the fifth. Trail now 12-4. Kayla Norberg up to bat. Again, they made a pitching change, and we're back to Elise Griffin on the mound. She pitched the last inning, did a heck of a job. First pitch here to Norberg. Swung on, ball driven, got to be to second. Nice play at second. Pulled her off the bag for just a minute. She's right back down. Nice play over there at first base, but an equally nice play by Kinsley Hamilton as she makes the play at second, and that's 1 out on the board here in the bottom of the fifth. Trying to remember over at Reagan Eilert over there at first base. Nice grab by Eilert. Kate Griffin up, 1 out. First pitch to Griffin. Fouled back, out of play, strike 1. 0-1 the count to Griffin. Griffin struck out in the first, struck out in the second. Elise Griffin gets the pitch call, the windup. Ball swung on, hit foul. Coach McClure almost made the grab, but did not. 0-2. We got to give an error to Coach McClure over there at third base. Probably the first error he's ever had. Absolutely. 0-2 the count to Kate Griffin. Elise Griffin into the windup and the pitch. Slowed it down a little bit. Kate stayed on top of it, fouls it off. It's going to remain 0-2. Elise Griffin steps onto the rubber. Kate Griffin awaits the pitch. The 0-2 pitch coming in. Outside, ball 1. Good eye by Kate Griffin. One and 2 the count, 1 out. Griffin into the windup and the pitch. Kate Griffin, check swing, going to be no, ball 2. Did take the time to check with the first base umpire there, make sure that she didn't go all the way around. She did not. We're sitting at 2-2 now. Good decision by Kate to check up. Elise Griffin into the windup. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back to the fence, remains 2-2. Kate Griffin battling away here at this at bat. Second batter of the inning. 1 out for the Vikings so far. The 2-2 pitch. Low. Oh, called it. Looked like it came in a little bit low. She gave her the zone there. That'll be out number 2 here of this bottom of the fifth. Another K here for Kate Griffin and another K for Elise Griffin. Makes it 12 on the night for Elise Griffin. She had 11 in game 1. 1 now as she steps into game 2. That'll bring up Allison Hipp. First pitch to Hipp. Low, ball 1. Hipp struck out in the first inning. Hit the ball sharply to third for an out in the third inning. Foul tip, strike. 1-1 now the count. Elise Griffin into the windup and the pitch. Swung on, ball hit in the air, foul, back over our heads, out of play. It's going to be 1-2 now to Allison Hipp. Allison was the starting pitcher here in game 2. Relieved a couple innings ago, moved to third base now. Counts 1-2 now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth to Hipp. Elise Griffin into the windup. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, strike 3. That'll be the second strikeout of this nightcap for Elise Griffin. And at the end of 5, it's Hesston 12, Smoky Valley 4. We'll be back in just a moment. And back here for the top of the 6th inning, a big 5th inning for Hesston as they put 8 runs on the board, take a tie ball game going into the 5th, and open the floodgates here to lead 12-4 as we head to the 6th. Just a couple of reminders of things going on. We got state tennis this weekend on Friday and Saturday. That's at Prairie Village in Kansas City. We got baseball going over at Troy Miller Field tonight. We've got the choir concert that was rescheduled from Monday night. That'll be tomorrow night. You can go to live.smokyvalley.org and pick that up as well if you can't make it out to watch. Final concert of the season for our choir as well. And, of course, we've got regional baseball coming up on Thursday and CKL track on Thursday as well, right here from the Bethany College track. First pitch of the 6th inning, ball 1 from Ava Brocksterman as she delivers the opening pitch here to Emma Goodman. Second pitch, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Goodman was hit by a pitch in the first inning, and she had a single in the 5th. Next pitch, outside, 3-0 the count to Goodman. Three-0 pitch, going to come in high, and that's going to be ball 4. So the opening runner, or opening batter here in the 6th inning, gets on base, Emma Goodman. And the Vikings are going to go back for another pitching change. They're going to take Brocksterman out, move Hip back in. Of course, Hip started this game, and Brocksterman came in relief. Hip's going to move back over now to play at the mound, and I believe they'll probably move Brocksterman back to third. So hopefully we did a quick rundown. Like I said, we do have CKL track right here in the Valley on Thursday. Pretty significant event. Got all the league schools here for that. A lot of volunteers in play that day to help us accomplish that. I think that starts at 2 with field events. So if you have a chance and want to come out, should be a great day. I think the weather's going to be in the 70s, so should be a beauty. Back to the top of the lineup. Wendy Roth up. Swing. Hit to second. Sharply to Adams. Struggles to get it grabbed. Not in time. Ball just kind of handcuffed her a little bit there, and that'll move Gudeman over to second, and that'll put Roth on first here in this second inning. Allison Hip on the mound now. Elise Griffin up. First pitch going to be low, ball 1. Gets away from Norberg. That's going to move both runners over to second and to third. So now runners in scoring position with Gudeman at third and Roth at second. 1-0 the count to Griffin. Second pitch, high and outside, going to be 2-0. Elise Griffin takes over on the hill here after Brinlin Richmond opened the game on the mound. 2-0 the count. Swung on. Driven to left field. It's going to hit the dirt. That's going to score 1. Second runner coming. Safe. So both runners make it in, and that's going to move the score to 14-4 here in the top of the 6th. Throw to the plate was close. I think that was Haxton, the cutoff, that made that throw in here to Norberg. Not quite in time, and that gives Griffin a 2-run double here in the top of the 6th. Justice Large up, takes the first pitch, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Large. Hip gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Good delivery, ball hit sharply to right. Jordan Elseth under it, makes the play. Quick throw to second, not in time, but does collect the first out. So Large flies out to right field for out number 1. That's the 1 out on the books here for the Vikings. Trying to get out of this inning. Already given up 2 runs, trail now 14-4 in this contest. Next batter up, Corey Kramer. First pitch, swung on, hit sharply down third base, foul. Going to be strike 1 to Kramer. Kramer hit out in a 6-3 the last inning. Ball hit sharply to short. Nice play over to Toll to collect that out. 0-1. The pitch from Hip. Swung on the handles. Ball hit in the air to short. Haxton under it. Makes the play. That's out number 2. So back-to-back flyouts by Hesston, and there's 2 outs on the board. Still a runner at second. That's Griffin, who drove in 2 runs just a moment ago. Richmond up, takes ball 1 high. 1-0 the count to Brenlin Richmond. Hip delivers the 1-0 pitch. Low in the dirt, 2-0. Hip onto the rubber. Richmond into the batting box. Gets the sign, the windup. 2-0 pitch. Got to be low, ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Richmond. She hits one on the ground to outfield. It's going to score a run most likely. 3-0 pitch. Inside high, ball 4, and she's going to send her to first. No harm, no foul on that one. Now you got a runner at first and a runner at second. So you got Richmond at first. You've got Griffin at second. Macy Kramer up with 2 outs. Top of the 6th, Vikings trail 14-4. First pitch from Hip. Right down the center, swung on, hit foul down the third base line. Strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. The wind up, the delivery. Low in the dirt. Ball 1. 1-1 now the count to Macy Kramer. Runner in scoring position at second. Another runner at first. The 1-1 pitch. Ball swung on, hit sharply by Brocksterman at third into left field. Runner's going to turn and head home. She's going to score. That's going to push it up to 15-4. So a nice 2-out single there by Macy Kramer. Sends a run across, and that'll make it 15-4, Hesston. Keegan Kuhn, the sophomore, going to step in here and pinch hit. First pitch to Kuhn, strike 1. Takes one looking. A 1 pitch delivered right up the middle. That one's going to get to center field. Scott gets behind it, hits the cutoff. They're going to send the runner from second. She's going to score, and they're going to push another run to third. That'll make it 16-4. Kuhn, only her 6th game she's played in, only her 7th plate appearance, her 4th at bat officially, and that'll be her first hit as well. 16-4. Pitch low and in the dirt. Going to be ball 1 now to Kinsley Hamilton. The 1-0 pitch from Hip. Swung on, ball hit sharply. Hip, nice snag. Throw to first in time for the nice 1-3 put out there to wrap up the top of the 6th, but not before a couple more runs across. And at the end of 5.5, it's Hesston 16, Smoky Valley 4. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th inning in just a moment. back here, bottom of the 6th inning. Vikings find themselves down 16-4. Leading off the bottom of the 6th, number 19, Allison Barleen, one of those seniors recognized earlier tonight, a 4-year participant of Smoky Valley softball. Allison going to step in and go to work here against Elise Griffin. 4-run 6th inning for Hesston after an 8-run 5th inning. Puts them up 16-4. First pitch by Griffin, outside, ball 1. Barleen stepping in to hit for Gordon. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 1. 1-1 the count. A little bit of heat there from Griffin. Barleen trying to get around, get some contact, and drive that ball. Griffin gets the sign into the windup and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count to Allison Barleen. Allison has 7 at-bats this season coming into the day. She does have 1 hit. Pitch outside, ball 3. Moves to 3-1 now. A chance for Barleen to maybe get on base here, either via the hit or the walk. Definitely going to try to make her pitch the pitch she wants here. 3-1 pitch, outside corner, strike 2. 3-2 now the count. Gets it back to full. No 3-2 pitch. Ball swung on, hit foul down the first base line, out of play. Count remains 3-2. Elise Griffin gets the sign. Brings the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. That'll be strike 3, and that'll be out number 1 here of inning number 6. Another K in the books tonight for Elise Griffin. Next batter up for Brocksterman is going to be Jamie Bean. Another senior recognized earlier for her participation in Smoky Valley softball over 4 years. Bean steps in. Griffin gets the sign. First pitch. Strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Jamie Bean. Bean has 2 at-bats this year. Scored 2 runs. Second pitch swung on. Outside. Strike 2. 0-2 the count to Jamie Bean. Elise Griffin gets the sign. The windup, the pitch. 0-2, swung on. Strike 3, another K for Griffin. That'll be 4 strikeouts in a row now by Elise Griffin. And the Vikings down to their last out now. They need to put some runs on the board. Kelsey Adam up to bat. Kelsey hitting 182 on the season. Steps in. First pitch from Griffin. Outside corner, strike 1. Oh and 1 the count. The 0-1 pitch. Outside corner, reaching for it. Can't quite get to it. That makes the count 0-2 to Kelsey Adam. Griffin checks the sign, the windup and the pitch. Inside, ball hit off the hands to short. Throw to first in time, and that's out number 3 for the Vikings on the 6-3 put out. And that should be a ball game. Vikings fall today 16-4 in the nightcap, 13-1 in the opener. Bats do come alive here in the nightcap, and they do get some runs early as they captured some early at-bats that put some runs on the board for them, but to no avail as the last 2 innings were big for Hesston. They put up 8 runs in the 5th, and another 4 runs in the 6th to push this lead out, and they do get the dub 16-4. Vikings will await their seed now and determine what happened tonight with Plainville and decide where they're going to travel next week. We'll see if we can cover that game for you. We want to thank Mike Rose for the live.smokyvalley.org live stream tonight. We appreciate all that you do. Again, if you have a chance tonight or this week to get out, choir concert tomorrow night, regional baseball on Thursday at Hesston, CKL track on Thursday here at home, and Friday and Saturday tennis, state tennis, at Prairie Village in Kansas City. So for myself, for Mr. Rose, we thank you and have a great night.